There we go.
Well, I'm saddling in for this one tonight, baby, because today, again, we've got 3 in a row, 5, 7, and 9 p.m. We don't mess around on stirring the pot. We are starting off with, let me do this right, stirring the pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Sergeant Murray. What's up, baby?
What's going on, brother Kincaid? What's going on, kid?
Hey, as I was saying, we are one of 3 tonight. I have yourself. I have Matthias. Oh my, I am waiting for Matthias. I've wanted to talk to that kid for so. We might even talk about him down the road because you do a couple things in PAPW, if you will. But I also have one Theodore Livingston. I'm not sure if you're aware of Mr. Livingston, but ooh.
After you put up who the people were, I became intrigued when I saw who I was going to be on against tonight. So I did look him up. That's quite an individual right there, brother.
Oh, Theodore, he's a very strong person, obviously. But man, what a character he can do. Oh man, us the fans, we love Mr. Livingston. But this is about Sergeant Murray. Now, what we do, we kind of peel it back a little bit, if you will. You don't have to. You could just take a ride with us. We talk to the fans, and we just kind of get to know Mr. Murray a little bit more. For those that already do know you, and for those that don't, we're kind of introducing you to new fans. If it's just my dad that's watching this, and maybe his dog Jake, I apologize. That's my fault.
Dude, I'm happy that your dad and Jake are watching. Your dad has been one of my biggest fans since day one, and yourself as well. So let's have some fun, man. Let's kick it old school. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I grew up on old school, and I'm gonna start right off right there. I'm talking like AWA. Are you just throwing random shit, or do you have a dog yourself?
No, I have both of my dogs, Piper and Sherman. And Piper's an Old English, and Sherman is an American English, and pocket pit mix.
Pocket pit?
Pocket pit, yeah. So Sherman, we call him Sherman because he's built like a tank. He's 10 months old and he's 80 pounds.
Oh my God, he must be a freaking crazy loon at that age.
This dog is the biggest mush ball. All he wants to do is either chew on something or get his belly rubbed. That's it. He's got zero bad intentions. There's not an evil bone in his body, and he just wants to hang out. He just wants to be just hang out. Piper's a puppy. She's 3 and she's got a ton of energy. So if you're outside with her, she wants to throw the ball. So forgive me to the fans if you see me whipping a ball, but just hanging out with my dogs in the backyard, man. You know, we're doing it outside.
There's nothing wrong with that because we're at a weird point. And so, you know what? I got 3 points I wanted to start with, but now that we're on the dog thing, likes to chew things, likes the belly rubbed. Doesn't have a bad, no evil intentions.
Kind of like me.
Dude, I was just going to say, it sounds like Dad. Holy cow.
Yeah, you know me, Don, and for those that don't, we'll just take it back to bare bones. I'm an Air Force veteran, so it's they always say life imitates art. Well, I got to go life imitates art, imitates life. So Sergeant Murray is a real person. I was a sergeant in the United States Air Force. My grandfather was a sergeant in the United States Army. He was in World War II. He was in the invasion of Normandy. So it means a lot to be in the military and then do it. And then, and for those that want to take it way back to when I first started wrestling, I was the corrector way back in 14 when I first started, when I wrestled for Gino Caruso down in, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank because I got a bulldog. They don't want me to throw the ball. ECPW. And I used to wrestle for an old school indie name up here with him. His name was the Punisher, Al Nastemski. And Al is the one that got me into following this crazy ass dream at 42 years old. And, it's supposed to be a goof. and now it's, I'm going on my 8th year. I know it's not 8 years of 300 days on the road wrestling, but it's my 8th year. This year's been kind of crazy because it'll be a year in May. I got a concussion at my job. I'm a corrections officer, where the corrector came from. So I started out as a heel like everybody else does, and I got a concussion at my job doing my job. And so this year hasn't been as much wrestling for me as I'd like to. I transitioned into a new role as the director of operations for Paradise Alley. So I only wrestled once this year since the concussion, which was great. It felt great twice, actually. It felt great to be back in the ring. I had a ball. I do miss it. I miss the guys I work with. This time off has been a lot of thinking in this crazy time that we're in right now. It makes you reevaluate things, how you want to do it. I just want to wrestle again. I feel I got a little bit left in me in the tank. I know that everybody I'm wrestling is at least 30 years younger than me because I just turned 50. So I'm wrestling kids literally that can be my kids when I say that, but they keep me young. And I'm going to deviate the guys, our young guys, the Kylon Kings and my kids, because I call them my kids, the Haven, wrestling with those guys and working with those guys. And one that to the day I die, he's my little brother in wrestling. Zachariah Gibbs fighting Amish, those 4 guys. And we have a couple younger guys at the school too. Once we get back in, those guys keep me young and make me want to fight. And, it makes you realize nothing in this business is a given. We just saw that yesterday with WWE. They just let go of 18 people, writers, wrestlers. They let go of Fit Finley and Hurricane Helms and Sarah Logan. She was in WrestleMania. Gallows and Anderson, they were in WrestleMania. So, I mean, it's, nothing's given. So, I mean, you got to fight for it, but you got to have fun with it too, man. And until it's not fun, I'll keep doing it. I'll have fun with it. So.
Well, you've mentioned many things that we have to touch upon. One of them being that because you had the concussion. This is a question right now.
Yep.
Because you had the concussion, is that why we didn't see it for a bit, but you transitioned into that kind of authority role as a director, if you will?
Yeah, because the thing is, I didn't want to leave it alone, and the guys were good enough. And when I say the guys, the bosses, Roma and Mancini and Perez and Big Steve, they were good enough to me to know that I still have something left in the tank to give, to have fun with. And so they said, we're going to make you direct operations. We'll take it that way. Again, if we're peeling back the layers, that's how it came about. And the guys were good enough. And there's a couple other guys, but I don't want to ruin their bubble. But there were a few other guys in the back that came up with the idea and said, let's do this. And I am very humbled and grateful for that opportunity. In this day and age of concussions, it's nothing to be trifled with. I mean, it literally took 6 months of my life just to, be able to do things. And I still have a headache every day, but it's nothing like it was. Somebody says to me they have a headache, it's like you kind of giggle like, oh, well, whatever. But I mean, until you've been literally dumped on your skull and you can't do anything. I have a Harley that's set all summer. That's been sitting since last summer when I got it ready. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't get to do. I couldn't wrestle. I couldn't go to the gym. I got to be able to do a lot of, I'm back to doing all of that stuff, but it took a while to get it back,
Now, after a concussion, you've said that you've taken a different role, being the DOO, the DO of of PAPW, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. For you that don't know, which I speak of on the show quite often, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. It's based out of East Haven. They have this cool little setting that they do these Friday Night Alley fights with, and there's probably anywhere between I don't know, maybe 50, 60 chairs or so set up or whatever. But then there's standing room only, and that place gets wickedly jammed in there at times. And man, do we have some kick-ass times over there. But they also do the bigger shows, different venue. You've found, or what it seems to me as a fan, PAPW specifically has seemed to find a home at this annex club, if you will.
Yeah.
Could I say that's true?
For right now, we're there with the with this COVID-19 situation. You know, things are, you know, everything's put on hold. I know that it's being spoken of that when we get to go back, I believe we're having our next show at the JCC, the Jewish Community Center in Woodbridge, just because they've got a higher roof. And I don't know what our relationship is going to be with the annex after that, but just so we can have fun with the guys. You know, we got a bunch of dudes, they love to jump around, and God bless them, because my big ass ain't getting above the second rope. And we don't, you know, there's just some stuff you leave for the little dudes and some stuff you do to the big dudes. This big dude don't go above the second rope, and that's not by design. That's by sheer brilliance, you know. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But we have found a good spot there in New Haven at the Annex Club, and it's been a great fit for what we've done. But again, all venues and all talent subject to change, man. We're just going to see what happens. I just know that first show back, from what I've been told, we're going to probably be at the JCC.
Okay.
So we're going to give that a shot and see what happens from there.
Cool. I can't wait because, hey, I try to get to every single one of those PAPW shows, and they're always a banger. I love that.
You do, Don, and that's right, and that's why, you know, a lot of people ask, you know, can you do an interview? Can you talk to us? And I've never turned one down, but it means a lot more when you talk to somebody that's not just a fan of wrestling or a fan of yours, that's a fan of the product that we put out. And, you know, with Roma writing and Mancini, booking the venues, and Roma writing. I mean, it makes it fun, you know, and once the story starts, everything kind of flows and writes itself, and it makes it a lot of fun to do it.
Yeah, we focus on storylines on this show because I love them. Without them, there's a lost element in said performance in the ring that's taking right in front of us. You could have a hell of a match and you could tell a story in that match, but I love storylines attached to those wrestlers. It brings a total bigger element.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We had a great time. You know, like the story I got to tell with Collusion, you know, and all four of the guys, I know, and I got your back with that, Kincaid. Don't worry. And it does say Narciso Rest. It doesn't say Ding Ding, so he has to fix his handle. That's why, and I pointed it out. You saw it. I pointed it out. It says Narciso Rex. It doesn't say Ding Ding. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, if we're just being honest and telling the truth of what it is, it says Narciso Rex. Now that's up to you to fix your social media. That's not me. That's not Kincaid. He didn't do that. He just he pointed it to, because if it doesn't say, hey, we're having Ding Ding, well, who the hell's Ding Ding? You said it's a Narciso Rex, so I can Facebook do. Oh, Narciso Rex. Okay. So, I mean, fix it, you chubby little Arab. That's your problem. Nobody else's.
Zing! One for Sergeant Murray. Holy cow!
You know, I mean, all the times that dude smacked me in the chest like that. No, you're gonna eat that one. Now fix it, you little chubby Arab, and get it done.
Wow. And you don't have to watch, but just the opening. Holy cow! And the ending of I sat with Mr. Ding Ding on the show, and it was absolutely insane. Just the ending alone, I think you would appreciate it. I think you'd probably pee just a little bit from laughing.
Oh, you know me. I love a good rib, man. That's always good stuff. You know me. I try to have fun. I mean, again, if we're gonna talk about the character, you know my character. I mean, and again, life imitates art. My character is who I am. I try to have a lot of fun. Try to be a positive guy. Have a good time. Make it fun for the fans. You know. There's the serious guys. Those guys are great. It's great to have those serious guys. I'm the fun guy. I'm the guy that wants to go out there and yeah, we're gonna smash somebody in the face. We're gonna giggle while we're doing it, and we're gonna have a good time.
Now, speaking of which, now Sarge comes out with, the camo pants and the boots and stuff,
Yep.
but he's got the singlet going on, but
Yep.
he's always got that American flag right in his
Yes.
hands, and he comes
Yes.
out with it every single time. But
Yep.
you've actually added another element to that where you get to a certain position in your entrance and you think that thing shoots confetti, man.
Yes.
How the heck did you come up with that?
God damn it. I wish it was me. It's goddamn Roma. We were just shooting the breeze, and I don't care. I respect the guy. Fox Vineyard was at one of our shows early, and Fox Vineyard hit a confetti cannon,
Mm-hmm.
and Roma looked me right in the eye and he goes, "That's yours now." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You come out, you hit a confetti cannon." I said, "Oh, we'll get red, white, and blue confetti cannon." He goes, "Yeah." So it used to be in the beginning, and you know this, in the beginnings, I'd come out and hit that thing, come through the curtain, and everything would go bang, hit the cannon. Roma said, "Now you wait till you win." So now I hit the cannon when I win, and it just makes it a whole lot of fun, man. And the kids dig it, the crowd digs it. I mean, it just makes it fun. And again, it sounds corny and cliche, but I am that American guy. I believe in my country. I believe in the flag. I believe in what it stands for. Truth, justice, the American way, the whole Superman gimmick. Because I'm more Captain America than Superman, because I don't look like Superman, but I believe in it. And you look at any of my, look at my trucks, there's American flags on them. You look at my bike, there's an American flag on it. When you look at my motorcycle helmets, there's an American flag on it. I got American flags in my uniforms. I got goddamn red, white, and blue underwear from Duluth Trading Company.
Okay.
Under Armour shirts. They got the stars and stripes on them. I wouldn't show you underwear. I know. That's the other reason why Sarge doesn't wear a singlet or trunks, because you don't want to see that. Kids don't want to get scared come to wrestling match. You leave that to the guys that got the good body, like the Holidays and the Matthiases and the Williams. You leave that to those guys that let them run around in the trunks and the booty shorts and all that. Big boy ain't doing that. I mean, I'm wearing what I'm used to wearing. That's it. So I mean, we try to keep it PG. We don't want to scare the kids.
Yeah, we absolutely do, because it's usually a family show. I heard a notification coming in, and I would hate for any more to come in. And we know I'm not that bright, so I should turn it off. Preface to this, but I don't. I always forget.
It is what it is, brother. Don't worry about it.
So family show, PAPW, wrestling from company to company is different in certain facets.
Yes.
It's all wrestling, but it's in different facets. And PAPW is, I've always seen, very high on the family friendly environment.
Yes.
And man, the kids and the families all together, and even like you mentioned, the Haven, their family comes out, and man, do they cheer for the Haven? Holy crap!
You think you have a following, and then these kids come in and they bring the whole neighborhood, and that's the thing. And this is the thing that I've been taught, and I like to preach and teach, is like, don't come and see me when I'm that guy if you're not going to come see me when I'm that guy. When I'm third from the bottom at the bingo hall, to use a Bully Ray phrase, I'm third from the bottom at a bingo hall with 9 guys in the crowd, not the wrestlers. Don't come and see me when I'm, mid-carding or top of the card at Mania or a big show, and now you want to know me. Know me when, I'm paying, you're buying my merch when you had the first shirt. You had the green tattered battle flag shirt. Know me when you had the second shirt that I had. Don't know me when, I'm on WWEshop.com or AEWshop.com or whatever big promotion it is. Know me then. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it cool. And that's why this being a family show is really neat. And I wrestled I wrestled and I still do wrestle for other companies that are not as family friendly. I stay true to what I know. And that's the thing that, Roma and Mancini instilled in us. And it works for me. I don't have to go on, giving the bird or middle fingers and stuff like that. I can go out and prove my point just, wrestling and telling the story and using what's brought me to the dance thus far, and I've been fortunate enough, and I can't reinforce fortunate enough to be a 2-time United States champion in this company and to have the opportunities I've had with this company that, you want to keep it true to the fans and you don't want to insult their intelligence either.
Well, you mentioned it's not even an extension of yourself. I mean, it is because it's wrestling, but I mean, in all honesty, it's Sergeant Murray. I mean, you're Sergeant Murray, so
yeah, and I am, and and it's like I live in a small beach community here where I'm at, and all these kids know me as Crazy Uncle Ralph. all the we'll peel back another layer of the onion. All the because all the families, there's like 5 families that we all hang out, and it's like the mafia, and we all look after each other, and we've all watched each other's kids grow up, and so to them, I'm not Sergeant Murray, I'm just Crazy Uncle Ralph. I'm just, call Ralph. He's got the pickup truck, or call him up. We need to do something. That's me. But that's the thing, if somebody needs help, you help them. You need help, ask. Don't be that pig-headed you can't ask somebody for help. And so, it's like small town, Feely. I mean, I'm from a little town in Pennsylvania in the woods, and that's the way people work. And so, that's the Sarge. And, like it says, I'm a shirt Sarge, but, it is. And I love it. I love doing this. I love doing what I do. And I dude, if I took you out to the front of the house, there's 2 flags. There's a regular red, white, there's an American flag, and there's a thin blue line flag for being in law enforcement all these years. And I believe in it. So
I'd like to kind of rewind just a little bit about you, talking about see me when I'm that guy. Don't come and see me when I'm that guy.
Yes. Yes.
This right here, and the reason why I go to these places, Mr. Murray, is exactly.
Hey, wait, stop. How long have we known each other?
All right.
Do that.
Sarge
okay,
Sarge.
Do that shit again. I'm gonna smack you next time I see you. You know better, John.
Okay, Sarge.
We've been doing this for too long together. You know better. You do. You know better.
So anywho, that's why I love companies like PAPW, Test of Strength, Battlefront, and the list goes on and on. And I don't mean to miss PAP. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on, but I love doing promos with all of the new students that are coming up through these schools and these companies. And then I love doing the promos with the guys that have already been in it a little bit longer. And then I love doing it with the guys that have been in it a little bit longer than that, that are still like really hot. And it doesn't even have to matter being hot or not. I love doing it all with everybody because seeing the guys and girls that we know in New England getting up on that NXT level, getting up on the Raw stage, like Warbeard Hansen, I'll use for an example.
Yep.
We've been watching that guy for a while, and now look at him.
You know what one really hurt me that got let go yesterday? That really hurt me back into my heart was Deonna Purrazzo.
Dude,
that hurt me in my soul because she did a few shows for us at PAPW with Christina Marie, and that hurt me deep. I felt so bad for her because she just got that little bump and she was getting that little push, and you're starting, and you were seeing her always on NXT on you see stills of her at this house show and this house show down in Florida, and now the last few months you were seeing her on NXT on NXT TV, and you were seeing her on Raw TV, and it was just so cool. And we went to the Raw December 30th in Hartford, and she wrestled, and Chelsea Green wrestled too. And I'm like, there you go. Boom. Boom. There it is. And it was just so cool to be able to say, I know her. Or you could say, I knew him when. And, you know, a prime example, Richard Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Prime example, Holiday, he's that little starter from the bottom. Now we hear he is that. I mean, he, God damn it, man. I mean, to see him where he's at and to actually know him, it's just really so cool to see where he's at and to know him and, getting to go down and see him when he's been in New York those couple times they had tapings and see him and know him. God, man, it's just, that's the cool part. And so, yeah, Deonna Purrazzo, that one kind of hurt a lot because, she's a good girl. And I don't mean that, feminist horse shit, good mean she's a girl. She's a girl. So she's a good girl, but she's a great wrestler and performer. And that one stung a little bit, but, again, but yeah, don't know me when I'm wrestling at the East Haven hockey rink and then want to know me when I'm, main event and, Survivor Series. You know what I mean? Know me when I was at the East Haven hockey rink and you paid for, you bought a t-shirt from me. Like I put out a post a few weeks ago. Well, now maybe a couple months ago now. And I think you liked it. And I don't put a lot of stuff on, a lot of guys will put their gym pics up and they do that. And God bless them. I don't have that type of body to be throwing gym pics up every day. I refuse to do it. But I wore Christina Marie, for example. I love that girl. And we talk quite a bit, via chats and whatever. And her music came out. She actually has her own music on Apple Music. And I bought it. I don't know if she's getting any money for it, but I bought it and it's on my playlist when I work out. And so fast forward, I had her shirt on, one of her first shirts. And I said, and I put it up and I think it said something to the effect of, I don't do gym selfies, so everybody don't get crazy, but buy your friend's merch. Don't ask for a free shirt. Mm-hmm. And she inboxed me. She goes, thank you so much. That's why I love you, because you tell people you tell it like it is. But I got a lot of likes from people that I didn't realize who knew me. That was like, right on, brother. Because I have all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tweeter, whatever the frick it is. And I put it on all three of them. And there were dudes like, who's that girl? I'm like, Christina Marie, the incredible Christina Marie, courageous Christina Marie. And and now you're doing a hit promo on this kid. Because she's who she is, and she's a hell of a talent. And all she needs is just, she hits that right company, man. Forget about it. You'll be reading about her like you read about everybody else.
Had Christina Marie on this, stirring the pot, I finished a mason jar of moonshine with her. It was amazing. We had a really good time, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Pennsylvania, so moonshine's like one of my favorite things in the world. But that's another show for another.
So you mentioned Deonna Purrazzo and Richard Holiday. I want to touch on both of them real quick, because as shocked as you were, I see that list. And again, you mentioned her out of everybody, and her name stuck out of that entire list for me personally too. And the very first thing I did when I seen that list, I messaged Fogman. I go, holy F, did you see that Purrazzo got put on the chopping block on WWE's list? And he goes, no effing way. And I go, yeah.
Yep.
So that one really hit me a little bit, because I was like, what the hell? Like you said, she just got there.
Yeah. And again, like I said, it's like, you look at that list. I mean, and those are just the names. I mean, Fit Finley. You cut Fit Finley. Mike Chioda. Christ,
dude.
Chioda was reffing when Roma and Mancini were still in the WWE. The WWF.
Yeah.
Shane Helms, they just brought him on. Kurt Angle. Again, Gallows and Anderson were just in WrestleMania with the piece with AJ and Taker. Sarah Logan just wrestled at Mania 2. I mean, there was all these people, and it was like, I mean, Rusev? You cut Rusev?
Why?
You cut Rusev? It's like, that was as goofy as that bit was. You cut Rusev?
Yeah.
Heath Slater. Dude's been loyal. Heath Slater got cut. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they just, and I get it. It's a business. And one thing they always say, it's the wrestling business for a reason. But, this little COVID gimmick, it firebombed everybody. It is I'm going to tell you right now, and I will be completely honest, and this is where I'm grateful for my job. I've been in corrections since 1993 when I got out of the military. I've been collecting a government paycheck since 1989 when I went in the military. I've lived through the back end of AIDS. Now, just talking prison, working in prisons and epidemics, AIDS, SARS, swine flu, bird flu, H1N1, when they were doing the powder after 9/11, all of that. I've always had a job, always got a paycheck. And I am grateful every day for it. But, these cats and these girls who have, wrestling, that's their life, and you know what made it really hit home was Braun Strowman. They were, all the dirt sheets. I don't give a shit. I don't have any loyalty to any of those dirt sheets. Braun Strowman was like, I'm not getting paid. And people were like, what do you mean? Oh, you can say that shit. You're not. Braun Strowman was like, no, I don't work. I don't get paid. I might have a contract, but if I'm not going to work, I'm not getting a paycheck. And people don't get that. They don't understand that even though Nash and Hall and those guys, they changed it and got people guaranteed contracts and guaranteed money, it's still like a regular job. You don't work. There's no sick days. There's none of that stuff. Like, again, I'm fortunate. I get a job. I get sick time. I get vacation time. I can do that. But if you don't have that in your job, then what do you got? And Braun Strowman really brought it home to people. Like, yeah, I'm a 7-foot monster. I'm the guy. I don't get paid if I don't work. And these poor kids and these people that been in, Fit Finley, Christ almighty. I remember watching Fit Finley when I was, 25, 26 years old. And bye. It's like, and I get it. You got to thin the herd and they're doing their job and it's cost analysis, and then it comes into money. But man, that just broke my heart. The whole thing just broke my heart.
It was it's been a rough ride for the WWE over the course. With NXT coming up and being the brand that it is, that's cool. But in the same token, I know you can't go by viewership, but viewership is still viewership. And when you're not even reaching 3 million people a week on each program, something's got to fucking change.
I listen to Busted Open. I don't care. I listen to Busted Open every day, and the live segment is from 10 to 12. So I'm listening to Busted Open today on the way home from work, and Bully Ray said it. Drake Maverick got 2.1 million views on YouTube for talking about what happened. What have they been getting AEW and NXT? They started hot, million two. They're in the 6s and 7s, and now you're not. And that was before. That was when they were working with a crowd and live. So a cat like that, Drake Maverick, he's gonna land on his feet and he'll be good. He'll be good, But you gotta look at it like that, man. And yeah, WWE's had a rough spot. Like another thing they talked about, that big building they were building in Stamford, that's on hold. A lot of stuff has come to a screeching halt for these cats, and it is what it is.
So we've talked about Deanna a little bit. I want to talk about Richard Holiday a little bit because he's come up through the PAPW training school.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And again, if I'm not mistaken,
he was the very first student at PAPW.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Okay. Now he is also the longest reigning heavyweight champion at PAPW. Is that also correct?
I think he still does have that. If I think Williams was creeping and then Williams got beat, so I think he is still I think he does have the longest reign at PAPW. Yeah.
Now, He gets a contract with MLW.
Yep.
He's doing that thing with MLW.
Yep.
Big kudos. We see him growing and evolving as a wrestler,
Absolutely.
and we've been so stoked for him. Now I watch Fusion.
Yep.
We have Mr. Mark Adam Haggerty now signed with MLW, and Richard Holiday.
That's my dude. I will go to war for Mark Adam Haggerty, and he knows that. And I'm talking like, call me 3 a.m. I'm on the first thing smoking. We're gonna get absolutely with that cat, man.
So amongst many, many names that we would know in the MLW, we have some of our homegrown guys, to sort of speak.
Yep.
And Richard Holiday knows where he comes from, because I've seen Richard Holiday at a Friday Night Alley fight, not even on the card, and he's just hanging out.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, I see him walking to his car.
Yep.
You know, and I try to not stalk you guys, follow you guys too much.
No, you're right. First time it's stalking.
But I had to ask as I'm walking kind of behind him. I was with my dad, and I go, Mr. Holiday, congratulates on the big gig, but you're at Friday Night Alley Fights and we didn't see you on the card. What gives? He goes, I was just here to check things out. I go, no shit, that's pretty cool, man. So with that being said, is he doesn't forget where he comes from in PAPW, and makes a showing, hangs out, checks what's going on with the scene, if you will, to keep his eye on the pulse. I think that's really, really cool.
No, and that's the thing about Holiday. That's great. You know, he doesn't forget where he comes from, and always been a good friend. I mean, he's younger than me in you know, chronological years, but he's older than me in the business. And so I've run things by him. I've gotten to wrestle him in the trips to Indiana, and I've learned a lot from him. And he is that guy that practices his craft. And man, sky's the limit for that dude. I wish to be 28, just to be a couple years older than him, but in the business with him. I mean, he's the goods, and you know, everything Roman Mancini has ever told him has paid off in spades, and for him to have that kind of luck is just, I mean, I'm not even gonna say he made his own luck, and I like to use that saying, you know, make your own luck, make you, and he made his own luck, and boy, good for him, man. God bless him. That's awesome stuff.
Now, I'd like to revert back to Sergeant Murray and the crowd at PAPW. They've always, and not one time have I not seen this, they're always behind Sergeant Murray.
Yeah.
Now, you said you started as a heel, as a corrector. That, when you originally said it, it kind of mind-effed me a little bit, and I didn't really show it because I was soaking it in this whole time.
Yeah.
Sergeant Murray as a heel. Take us through that a little bit, because I've never seen such a thing.
Well, Sergeant Murray was never a heel. He was always a good guy, and I'm glad that he wasn't, because I don't think that I kind of felt weird about that, because of my grandfather and because of my name. You know, I'm probably one of the few wrestlers in the world that uses his name, and my grandfather helped raise me. I didn't have a dad, so anything I do that involves the Murray name, it means a lot to me. And when Roma approached me with the idea, and I said, look, I just don't want it to be, you know, he goes, it won't be. And when Roma said that it won't be, I said, all right, boss, let's ride it. Let's ride this horse, see where we go. And and so to go, as you know, to take you back, the corrector, you know, they say every good babyface starts as a heel. I was a horrible heel, man. I ain't gonna lie. I tried being a bad guy, and oh God, I was awful. I mean, I'm just not a bad guy. I like to think am I a badass? Yeah, I'm a badass. I'm a bad MFer. I am. I'm that guy. I'll steal that from Austin. I'm a bad MFer if I gotta be. But am I a bad guy? Nah, it just didn't work. I mean, and I thought it would work, and it's like, So to have the opportunity to be a good guy, to play a good guy, I've had people say, "When are you gonna flip?" I'm like, and I said it, and I don't care about it because I believe it. It'd be like flipping Cena. Flipping Hogan's one thing because nobody saw that coming. Everybody waits to see when Cena's gonna flip. Because Cena's a good guy, so you're waiting to see Cena flip, and you'd never see Cena flip. I don't think you'd ever see that, and in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, do I have bad guy tendencies? Yeah. Can I be sadistic and do what I got to do? Yeah, you got to be. But, however, nah, you won't see it. I don't think you'll see a bad guy Sergeant Murray anytime soon.
Hey, that's cool because the kids absolutely love you. The fans, kids, teens, adults, the older gen, you guys have them all for fans, and all of them love you because that's what's cool about PAPW. Because again, it's a family thing, and you get the older generation as much as you get the younger generation.
Yeah.
And like I'll use for an instance, and I don't know who she has ties in with, but you might know once I describe her. When like collusion really gets her lava heated, the firm, it boils her blood and she screams and she will point and shake and scream, and I lose my shit watching her. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm speaking about?
Was it my tag team partner at one time? Or is this a fan?
This is a fan, an older lady that goes.
Oh yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She loves PAPW something bad.
Yeah, she does. And again, that's what makes it fun. You know, and that's why, again, you know, that's why we do what we do. No, that's why we do what we do. You know, when little kids want to buy your t-shirt and you sell your t-shirt to little kids, you know, or like I have two friends that had babies. And the one girl, we worked in corrections together. She had her baby and I was all excited. And she goes, I want a onesie for my son. I said, okay. So, you know, I'm hopefully this year will be my last run and I'll do another shirt. But that's pretty neat when your friends say, hey, I want a onesie for my kid.
That's awesome.
That's weird, man. You know, that's like, whoa, really? You know, so it's like, it very humbles you. It grounds you. It also makes you understand why you got into it. And, man, it's just weird. It's just it's a cool weird, but it's like my daughter hates it. She's going to be 16. And she's like, God, Dad, you run around in your underwear. I'm like, no, I don't. You never. And she said she's never seen it, but I know she has. And her friends are like, I get invited to, every year they do a veterans program at her school and I get invited to it. You know, she invites me and her friends. The one day I walked in, this is a couple of years ago, she was still in junior high. And I walked in and the one girl just stopped and she goes, he's here. And my daughter rolled her eyes. She's like, oh, man. And hey, what's up? And then it just happened to me that one of her teachers is a kid that I grew up with, like little kid. We grew up together. And so he thought it was neat because he's seen it. So I sent him a picture and a t-shirt and he's got the picture up and there. He's like, look, this is Rowan's dad. And they're all like, it's just,
that's awesome.
You know, it's pretty neat. But, yeah, you got to be the fans are what make you, you know, the fans will make you. I mean, a lot of people, don't get me wrong. Roman Mancini will make or break you. Period. End. But that's 75% of the equation. Well, that's 50% of the equation. The other 25% is up to you, and the other 25% is up to them fans. You know, good guy, bad guy, down the middle, whatever you are. That's a whole lot of you. You got to make that up. You got to be able to be charismatic and have that something to grab onto with them fans and grab them by the throat. Luckily, the old red, white, and blue don't ever go out of style, baby.
No, it doesn't.
The old red, white, and I am just fortunate enough to be able to strap that rocket onto my back and I just go for a ride. And like I said, you know, little kid who grew up watching, you know, and God bless Howard Finkel passing away today, but I put it on my Instagram and my Facebook and my Twitter. You know, 1983 at the Catholic Youth Center in Scranton, Pennsylvania was the first time I ever saw a live wrestling event. Finkel was announcing. You know who else was there? Snuka. That was the first time I ever saw Snuka. Flash forward to 2015. Who am I wrestling with the same night? Jimmy Snuka. Who does that? Who gets to do that?
Was that at an ECPW show?
Yes. Yep. It sure was. And I got to know that gentleman. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about, you know, the show that was on the earlier because, you know, that's not my place. But I don't know that guy. The guy I got to know was a sweetheart. His wife they were both awesome to me. And I got to take a picture with a kid that I grew up watching. I got to take a picture with a guy that I used to emulate jumping off a chicken coop back home in Sterling, Pennsylvania onto a mattress in the middle of the summer. Come on, man. You can't write that shit.
You guys bring in some cool names, and it's not often you use your homegrown talent very fluently.
Yes.
And then special occasions, you give us a little sprinkle of a name.
Yes.
And I'll use Hacksaw Jim Duggan at the casino show. Look at that smile. Look at that smile right there.
Oh, dude, that was just, again, a one in a million boyhood dream. You know, I got to wrestle with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Are you out of your friggin' mind? I mean, come on, man. And the best part about it was I got to wrestle with my little wrestling brother Gibbs too in the 6-man tag. And Gibbs got me a great picture. And it's the picture. And I put it up once. Now you're gonna make me put it up again. But it's a picture of me, Gibbs, and Duggan, and Gibbs and Duggan's in the middle of us. And got to take a picture with him. And that's probably one of my prized possessions that, you know, it's in my living room on a shelf, but that picture will get blown up eventually and go downstairs in the bar and be on the wall in the bar down in my basement. That's just, come on, man. That you can't write that shit.
No, that was
and like I said, you know, and again, and not throwing you over, but like the Indiana show, when we would go out there and wrestle in Indiana with Brian Costello, who's one of Roma and Mancini's brothers, Demolition, Rob Conway, the Bushwhacker Luke. I got to wrestle the same night with those three. Are you freaking kidding me? That's crazy town. Crazy town. And then you know, flash forward to last summer when they had the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, Demolition was there again. And I went up to him and said, "Hey, sir, I don't know if you remember me." They go, "That's this." They said, "The Sarge." And they got up and gave me a hug. It's like, is anybody seeing this? Anybody seeing this right now? Did anybody see me get a hug from Demolition because they remembered me from 2 years ago? It's crazy town. You know, I got to meet Tully Blanchard I got to meet the Four Horsemen last year at that show. I got to meet Tully Blanchard. I got a picture with Tully Blanchard. Who's my favorite horseman? Tully Blanchard. Are you shitting me? I fanboyed out. I'm marked out. I don't care. I'm not proud. I'm marked right out.
So you say that you have more in your tank and you'll take it as long as you can. Do you have a goal that you've set, or is it just going to kind of take it freelance and see where it brings you?
To say you wouldn't want another belt would be a lie. Would I like to be a 3-time United States champ and go out on top? Yeah. But I'm also not a goof. I understand. So I'm going to have fun as long as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities present themselves. I never want to say no, brother. And we see what happens. But right now, You know, it's just you're training as much as you can, which, you know, we can't even wrestle, you know, because everything's shut down. You're in the same state we are, Connecticut. You can't do a daggum thing. So you're doing as much as you. I started running again. You're talking about a 270-pound man that has to run and he's not getting chased or finding an ice cream truck. That's some bullshit right there, man. I am mad as hell. But, you know, that's what you got. You know, you have to make the best of what you got. So all you can do is keep your gas up, keep your stuff on point, do your thing, and go from there. And when we come back, we'll run.
I can't wait. I think the fans and the men and women that make the events happen, I think we both miss it all the same. And I know it might, maybe not as much as the other, but I'm telling you, we miss it a whole lot, man. We can't wait.
I miss it. You know, the first 2-3 weeks, month off, it was good because, you know, guys had time to heal. You know, guys' bodies could heal up. You know, guys that wrestle a lot more than me. You know, guys that are wrestling every week. You know, 2-3 shows. You know, maybe they're wrestling Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or they're wrestling Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You know, those guys, yeah, their bodies could heal up. I wrestle once a month, maybe twice a month, but I'm also 50, so my body doesn't work the way it used to. I try to think it does, but it doesn't. But yeah, man, I do miss it. I do miss wrestling, not the fans. And I don't want that to sound messed up.
No.
I do miss the fans, but not the fans, not the confetti and all the stuff. I miss wrestling. I miss the art form of wrestling, the telling of the story. And maybe it's been good because now it's like, okay, I've had time to think about it. And, you know, you think about things and it's like, okay, not how can I reinvent myself, but how can I make myself better? I know who my character is. Okay, how do I make myself better? You know, and again, at 50 years old, making yourself better as opposed to 20 years old or 30 years old, even it's a lot easier at that lower end of the food chain or the age scale than it is at that upper end of the age scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know,
are you kind of thinking about tweaking the character a little bit? Is that where we're going with this?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. We run. I'm Sarge.
Okay.
You know, and since this is YouTube and it'll be whatever, I'm fucking Sarge. Sarge only knows one thing: 1,000 miles an hour, full steam ahead, dropping bombs, dropping warheads on foreheads, baby. That's it. That's what we're gonna do, man.
Dropping warheads on foreheads. I love that.
That's it, daddy. And that's what they're gonna do. Whether I wrestle Collusion, I wrestle, you know, Mr. Williams again, HOP, Buzzsaw, Flash Waller, The Haven, the Great Nuka. You know, I could go into dudes that are in Test of Strength, you know, 5-Star Jace and other guys I wrestled in other Battlefront, you know, the Necromancer. You know, one of my favorites in the world to wrestle. I've only wrestled him 3 times, Dirtbag Dan. You know, I'll wrestle anybody, you know, and have fun doing it. And that's just what it's about, you know, and that's what I want to do. But I also know my body. I also know, you know, when I'll have to say enough, you know, because you know, you don't want to walk around and knees all jacked up and back's all jacked up and everything's all jacked up. I mean, it's just not fun. I mean, you know, Kincaid, you're playing guitar. You're a rock and roll star, man. I know all about you, baby. You do your homework. I do my homework. You're a rock star, man. That living a rock star life, like, you know, like you used to do back in the day. That takes a toll on a man, you know.
Dude.
And you know, I mean, and I've seen your work, Kincaid. I'm a rock fan. You shredded up a little bit, Big Daddy. I seen it. And to quote the boys in HOP, I seen it, man. And that's legit, baby. That's legit. And so, you know, it's, you know, when you get, you know, like Kenny Rogers said, know when to hold them and know when to fold them, Daddy. And,
well,
you know, you just got to, you know when. I don't know when yet. Because I still think I'm 20.
It's funny you say that because all of my gear is like right here in my room. It's all right there in the corner. I even have the Dave Cole bass that I bought off him that I never really got to get on stage with. So I still have that too.
Yep. Yep, I hear you, man. And it's like all my gear's downstairs and it's cleaned and dried and hey, HBO says it and I agree with it. Here's what you should get too: wash your gear and your ass.
In your
Two,
ass.
two of the things: wash your gear and your ass. So
That's kind of been a funny message with the whole Kin COVID. Kin COVID, you get it. Can nah, never
yes,
mind.
I'm with you. I'm with you, kid. I'm with you.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
follow you. I'm with you. But
Uh, that has
but
been
yeah,
a
my
message.
gears. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting to say, okay, we're running. Okay, great. Let's get in the ring. Let's shake the ring rust off. Get the cobwebs out, and let's go put on a show, man. Because you
I
got to
can't.
remember, when a lot of these companies go, it's going to be like WrestleMania. It's going to be a shit ton of independent WrestleManias going off.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm lying. I mean,
Oh,
it's
not at
legit.
all. Everybody's gonna want to pull off a banger, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Everybody's going to get their shit off. You know, again, I'll quote Bully Ray: "Get in, get on, get off, get out. That's it." And that's me. I'm that guy. 4 minutes, no problem. You want me to go 8? I mean, does that include getting into the ring, or are we gonna go? You want 8 in the ring, and I got time to get in and out? I mean, we got to make this,
Because
but
I got this cool flag thing that I do, and I could really, maybe.
I can draw that shit out. I can make that go.
Are you comfortable with the whole do what you're doing now? Are you comfortable doing that position?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm in it, but I'm not. I get to have fun. I get to verbalize a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, you know me. I can talk shit with the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I let those 4-letter words slip out, and you gotta
Yeah.
skirt around things with the kids because
Well,
again,
see,
we want the kids to keep coming back. We want the parents to come back. And again, Roma gives us, we got Roma's rules. No middle fingers, no this, no that. You do it again. Just when you leave the ring, pack your shit and just keep walking out the door. Don't come collect your pay because you're never working for us again. And if that's the biggest rule you got to follow at a wrestling show,
Mm,
the show's easy.
yeah.
If you can't tell a story without giving somebody the bird or MFing somebody or something like that, then are you really a wrestler? Or are you just out there just, to quote the Sheik, of hata jabroni? I mean, is that what you are? To quote Sheiky baby, you jabroni, get out of here. And
Oh,
that
hail El Jabroni. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong
no,
Jabroni.
wrong jabroni.
Yeah, I'm
See, and
sorry.
that's why, and that's a perfect reason. And I love that dude, but that's a perfect reason why you will never see the Sarge in trunks. Look at jabroni.
Woo! Holy cow! But he embraces it though, sir.
Yeah, and that's good for him. That's good. He's young. Me, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I've just gotten comfortable enough wearing a singlet and what I wear now, man. You want me to throw on some trunks? The
Yeah.
quote to Kembe Mutombo, no, 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 not today.
And and to be fair, the opposite end of the spectrum, because I'm a very thin guy, like SOG Ronnie Ribs, he says I weigh about 35 pounds, which is probably not that far off. But
With a rock in your pocket and a half a brick, you're 40.
and, but a guy like Dirtbag Dan, I've seen him in a pair of trunks a few years, maybe more than a few years back. I'm not feeling that either. So
How do
the
you have
pants.
how do you have sight in your eye? That's the thing. You didn't burn that cornea clean out to the back. I mean, dang son.
I love Dirtbag Dan too, but those trunks, not feeling it at all.
That right there, that's another cat that I love to death, and I hope that he does his business because I love that dude to death. And if anything I could ever do for him, and I mean, I don't got a lot of stroke in his business, but what I have, because I know I'm not doing anything, I would use it the best of my ability to help anybody out. And he's another one of them dudes that I wrestled him 4 nights in a row one time. No, it felt like 4 nights. It was 2 nights in a row. And again, if we're breaking the walls down, I wrestled him 2 nights in a row. We wrestled the exact same match, the exact same time in 2 different parts of Connecticut, and it went over like wildfire. And you know where I learned that from? Steamboat and Flair. That's a Steamboat Flair trick. They'd
Nice.
wrestle 6 nights in a row in 6 different towns, do the same match 6 different times. Back then, there was no interwebs. There was no
Right.
social media. You know, you're wrestling 300 miles away from the town you were just in. Well, nothing's that close. So unless you're traveling and following that train and you got that kind of dough to do that, you wrestle someplace you wrestle in Sheboygan. I'm going to steal that from Bully Ray too. You wrestle in Sheboygan on a Wednesday and then you're wrestling in Cedar Rapids on a Friday. You can do the exact same match. Nobody wouldn't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and so me and Dirtbag Dan did that one night. And let me tell you something, to wrestle 2 nights in a row, number one was neat because it's like, okay, this is what Roma and Mancini went through back in the day. Wrestling 2 nights in a row, 3 nights in a row, 4 nights in a row, you know, and it felt really cool. I was hurting. Ooh. Knees were on ice. That Sunday, boy, knees were iced up. Ooh, doggy. But but yeah, man. Dirtbag Dan's another guy that, God, I love wrestling him. Love wrestling that dude, man.
He's
just
such a cool guy. Yeah.
It's just fun.
Though. A little stinky.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's good. You know, I'm used to dealing with shit, but and he showed it to me and I didn't realize it. We wrestled the one night. It was an alley fight we wrestled. And I didn't realize it, but he ran at me and I caught him in the air and choke slammed him down. And he looked up at me and laughed so hard as I was pinning him. And he goes, "Did you even see that?" I said, "No." And somebody taped it and showed me. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Are you okay?" He goes, "Dude, can we do that again?" You're a sick bastard, man. You need to get your shit checked out.
Oh man. Bruce, you've been an absolute joy today. You've shared so much behind Ralph Murray. You've shared about the PAPW men and women that have come in and been brought up from day one. We talked Dirtbag, Richard Halliday and the Haven and the Krylons and Mr. Waller. He's another one that's wow. But there's so many, and you were very open in sharing today, sir, and I really appreciate that.
Well, again, you when again, you don't want to give away too much, but you don't mind giving away some. And like I said, you've been a supporter of the Sarge since day one. And not that I don't got to kiss your butt and you don't got to kiss my butt, but you're good to the people that are good to you. And again, we shared a little, but we didn't give away the whole barn. And and it's been my honor, sir, to do it, and I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. That's wrestling. We have this cool community, and I know I'm not behind the curtain with you guys and girls, but over the course, you guys have just, anytime you see me, we stand up, we handshake, we hug, and I mean, I know it's going to be a different time. I don't even know what the hell to do later on in life, but we'll figure that all out. But every time you guys see me, you always show me respect, and I've kind of gained a little bit of that community thing with you boys and girls, and it's totally amazing.
And the feeling's mutual, brother, and that's why I don't think I've ever. I mean, again, not because I'm chasing the hug. I don't think I've ever said, "No, Kincaid, I can't talk to you," or "No, Kincaid, I can't do this." I mean, I might have to come back to you because we're setting up or we're doing whatever. Or I'm in the middle of something with Big Daddy or something. But
yeah.
No, there's certain people you want to talk to, and certain people that you're like, "Yeah, I'll get to you." And if you get to them, great. If you don't. But no, you've always been that guy that's been very good to us, and we appreciate, and we as wrestlers, we as performers, we as PAPW, we appreciate that from you, and I thank you for it.
Absolutely, it is always my pleasure to do that stuff because it's fun for me.
Yeah.
It's fun for you guys. It's fun to see from my dad. It's fun from a distance. Until Ref Bill Thompson comes out and then kicks me in my shins and shit like that. Not the best of times, but my dad loves it. It is what it is. Sergeant Ralph Murray has been an absolute delight, and we've got 2 more to go. I am stoked. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get through tonight, but I do it because it's wrestling and we love the shit out of it.
Yeah, no, and it's fun, Kincaid, and like I said, please give your best to my dad. I love your dad, man. That's a sweetheart of a guy. Give my best to your dad, please, when you talk to him. Tell him Sarge said what's up, and we'll see. We'll definitely see you soon. I really hope so, man. I'm getting a little stir crazy being in the house.
Cray cray, as the kids say.
Yeah.
This has been Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid. and my very special guest. And man, what an amazing run this was. One Sergeant Murray. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you down the road, man.